What's up, Lollipop? My name is Joe, and in today's video, it's going to be a first impressions, first reaction to the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. They have just announced it, and there's basically nothing that we did not know already from the leaks and rumors. We've basically seen them yesterday. One day ago, it was officially in someone's hands, all the devices. There's a Samsung Galaxy S21, Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus, and the Ultra. These are the three models they have introduced, and there are some new features which we already knew, and there are actually some minor details that we might have not known yet. Well, here they are. These are the basic things that you need to know about the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. That's very short. I think they should make it longer. It's too short. I mean, come on, Samsung marketing. We need longer names. What's this? So, the first thing, there are 4 cameras, and we have the traditional, normal, like wide, and we have ultra wide, but there are 2 telephoto cameras, one 10 times zoom and one 3 times zoom. Now, why did they do this? Who knows? Maybe one reason might be that there is some statistics with Samsung that people might be just zooming in a little bit, or they might be zooming in a lot more. And if you're just zooming in a little bit, the 3 times zoom is much better experience for you than a 10 times zoom. So it gives you a little bit of wiggle room on how much you want to zoom in. For closer zooms, you have the 3 times, and for further zooms, you have the 10 times. Now, there's another interesting thing. There's a laser autofocus on these cameras. Also, the 10 times telephoto is basically a periscope camera, so that's why the arrangement of the cameras, that's why it's not symmetrical, that's why there's no other camera on there, because the telephoto lens is a periscope lens. I'm talking about the 10 times telephoto lens, which is probably handled a little bit sideways, so it needs the room. A very interesting thing, the front camera, the selfie camera, is 40 megapixels. So yeah, they're preparing for quarantine life. Do all of your Zooms and Skypes and FaceTimes. Whoops, no FaceTime here. Do all that on this phone, because the quality of that camera is gonna be spiffing. It's just gonna be spiffing. If we turn the phone around and go away from the cameras and look at the display, what we see is a 6.8-inch display, which is a Quad HD OLED 120 Hz display, which is a variable refresh rate, which means that it can go all the way down to 10 Hz and all the way up to 120 Hz. It's basically a battery saver. That's what I would call it. You can save battery life with this, because if your phone is not doing anything, it's just there sitting around, then why would your screen refresh at 120 Hertz? No, it can go down all the way to 10, and then when you need it, it goes all the way up to 120 Hertz. This will improve battery life compared to the previous generations. Although I wouldn't worry much about battery life, because there is a 5,000 milliamp battery in this phone, which is actually huge. Now, with the display size, with the 5G, with everything that's in this, it actually needs this 5,000 milliamps. In terms of processing, you have the latest and greatest Snapdragon 888 processor inside, so it's going to be really fast, it's going to be really top-notch. It's a really premium flagship phone in the industry. It can pick up the weapons and fight other manufacturers to conquer the kingdom of the smartphones and be the ruler of them all. We'll have to wait for the tests and the benchmarks and see how it actually performs against other phones, against previous Samsung Galaxy phones, although I think against previous phones it should do better. Now, the screen is not so curved. It's a little bit flat. There is slight curves on the side, but still it's a lot better design, more ergonomic, I would say, more modern. Well, the only thing that's weird for me that you might have noticed is the camera cut out on the back. You see, it's like the whole piece was one glass, and they carved out the back and left the bump over there over the cameras. It kind of reaches over from the front all the way to the back, and yeah, it's an interesting choice. Much prefer this design than the previous year's design, that's absolutely for sure, but still, it's a huge camera bump. You should get used to it. It's something that comes with these phones nowadays. Not only the processor from Qualcomm is better, but the fingerprint sensor, which they have announced at CES this year, is the much larger and much faster in under-screen fingerprint sensor. So what we're getting in here is a better fingerprint sensor, a larger fingerprint sensor, which is always good. So there's going to be a hell of an improvement with the fingerprint sensor. Now we have to wait until the tests and reviews and everything to come out to see what actually happens. It's still the IP68 water resistant, and there is a bad news. They are gone. It's over. This thing, if you have one of these, you're not going to be using it with your new Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra or S21 or S21 Plus. There's no expandable storage anymore. Boom, kaput. There are 3 variants. There is 128, there's 256, and 512 gigabytes of storage availability on these devices. Now, what's interesting is that the RAM with these phones differs. If you have the S21 or S21 Plus, you get 8 gigabytes of RAM. If you get the Ultra with 128 gigabytes of storage and 256 gigabytes of storage, you get 12 gigabytes of RAM. And if you go all the way to the max, to the 512 gigabyte version with the S21 Ultra, you get 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot. We know that RAM doesn't always mean better performance. It just means there are a lot of components inside that might require the RAM. And with 112 gigabytes, it might be necessary to run the phone in perfectly operational condition. Now, Samsung does continue, and they continue to copy Apple, sadly, in the worst way possible. Because in this year's model, they have excluded the charger and the headphones. And this is going to happen all over the flagship industry, flagship premium devices, and also lower category phones. I think the phones that will have chargers or headphones will be the unique standout phones. Some really enthusiastic startups that say, no, this is what should be added, but yeah, no charger. No charger whatsoever, which is a shame, which is very, very bad that they always copy Apple the wrong way, the wrongest way possible. What you get though is stylus compatibility. So you can use the Samsung Galaxy Note styluses with the S21 lineup, although it's optional. Now, there is also a case, because if you're having a stylus with the device, you need to put this somewhere. And it's not magnetic, so it doesn't stick to the phone. So you can have a case, and the stylus and the case is plus $70. What's my opinion? I have no opinion. What's my first reaction? It's big. It's wow. Okay. Cameras, those bumps. I mean, for the camera, what do I think about the camera bump? I mean, if I was a camel and the S21 Ultra was a camel girl, I'd be like, yeah, look at those humps. Meaning that it's freaking huge. It's nonsense where we're going with these camera modules. But I mean, this is 2021, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. First reaction, first info, what you need to know. Thank you very much for watching. Guys, until my next video, don't forget to stay safe and hang loose.